will caress with my bare hands every precious grain of sand, every stone. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As we welcome you back to the second half of News and Views this morning. Now, this is one interview that I have been looking forward to, and wherever you are, whatever you're doing, on whatever platform you're listening or watching us, I would suggest that you get onto the social media platforms on our Facebook and also on YouTube, because this interview is going live from our studios here in at Salam Media. And we are talking with a sister Angela Shaik, or from the Merve that she was known as previously until 4 years ago when she had accepted Islam, when she had reverted to Islam. And she is now Fatima to Zahra Shaik, married to a Palestinian brother. And for many of you will recall her ordeal, because she was in Gaza for 6 months prior to the aggression that was unleashed by the Israeli security forces. And since then, she was stuck in Gaza for another 2 months, and the appeal came out from her actually to come out of Gaza. And she has also left her husband behind, who is in Gaza doing wonderful work, and he is in Rafah at this point in time. And my pleasure to welcome you, and Jazakallah for taking time out, Sister Fatima to Zahra. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, as I mentioned, I was looking forward to this interview, and before we got on live, we've had a brief discussion, and I think there's so much that we can unpack in terms of your ordeal. But I just want to take a step back and obviously looking at your life. Now, you in South Africa, you studied in Cape Town, born in an Afrikaner family, and now married to a Palestinian. And what was interesting from what you mentioned to me is, at that point in time, you knew absolutely nothing about Palestine. And the ignorance in this country in general about Palestine, but what this latest aggression has actually done, it's woken up the world. It's opened up the eyes of the world as to what's happening in Palestine.
Alhamdulillah, this is true, very true. When I decided that I want to become a Muslim and I want to revert to Islam, I had no idea about Palestine. When I was inside the war, my whole family that was in contact with me at that time also didn't know about the existence of Palestine. It bring me to I thought I'm the only one that didn't know about Palestine. I thought I'm unknowledgeable because we only know about Bethlehem, Jerusalem, because according to Christianity, that is a holy land for the people. And when I was talking to my aunt and my sister and everyone, they also mentioned to me they didn't even know the existence about Palestine. And I come to realize how many people really knew about Palestine. And I feel like this war, this whole scenario put Palestine onto the map.
Yes, and obviously since your marriage to Ashraf, this obviously opened up your eyes a lot, but also in terms of the 4 years that you were married and you became Muslim, and I'm sure a lot that you were actually exposed to, because started learning about Palestine, but also at the same time in terms of Islam, your Islamic knowledge as well.
Yes, yeah. I was concentrated on my Islamic knowledge. I want to know about everything about Allah. I want to know everything about the Deen, the beautiful Deen, and I was so drawn up with this knowledge. I'm a person who loves to study, and to know that in Islam it's an endless studying process. You can be how young, how old. You always need to study, and that was my goal and my niyat to learn. And I said to myself, I want to become an inspirational speaker for the ones that wants to revert to Islam, but that is scared. There is people that's scared about their own family, communities and stuff. And then also I wanted to become a mu'alima in the same time. So that was my whole goal. I didn't even think about Palestine. And I set out my journey to Cape Town, and I studied my Islamic science studies in Cape Town. I met a whole beautiful people in Cape Town that became my family. And from there I went to Turkey. and I studied in Turkey, and I continue with my Islamic research, studying everything in Turkey. But I must say, my time in Palestine, my little time I had in Palestine was the most I've learned in Islam than I've learned in this 4 past years.
Yes, I know, we'll be spending a better part of an hour if we've got to go through each and every experience, even your time in Turkey. But in the interest of time, we're going to draw somewhat of a timeline on how things have evolved over a period of time for you. And I just want to spend a few minutes because you were in Gaza 6 months prior to the Israeli aggression on Gaza. What was it like? What was the experience?
No. You know, I felt it like it's a jail. You are inside a big jail. The first day I entered Gaza, I was excited. Couldn't wait to see what is waiting for me in Gaza, and I wanted to go to brush my tooth. When I brushed my tooth, I tasted the water. It tastes like salt. I went to my husband. I asked him, "Why is there something wrong with the water? Why does it taste like salt?" Then he explained to me. He says, "The water being pumped out of the sea is being purified as much as possible. That water you use to wash your body, brush your tooth, clean, but you don't drink and eat. You don't cook with that water. You cannot, you will fall sick." So he said that once a week they will get like 500 liters of water. That's for drinking and cooking, and you must use it carefully. And another thing is what he explained to me is the drainage, where they drain out the sewage goes into the ocean. So that there's a point in Gaza, in the north of Gaza, where you will see in the sea, there's like the color is different towards the other side. That is the side where the sewage is going out into the sea. So imagine that water is the water you use to bath with. And amazing is he was so shy to let me know that Israel is giving them 6 hours a day of electricity only. The other 6 hours they get from solar panels generators. So they have like 12 hours a day of electricity. I was laughing at him. I said to him, I come from a country where there is load shedding. For me, it is nothing. I'm
Right.
used to it.
Yes.
But the main thing is Israel, while they are sitting with 24 hours of electricity, they give Gaza 6 hours only. Network, they give 1G network. If you don't have Wi-Fi, you have a slow network system. They don't allow much to the Gazians in Palestine. And then when the war broke down, when the Israel said that they give so much to Palestine and Palestine is ungrateful, I was like, what are you giving? 6 hours of electricity? No, there's nowhere for water. They use the seawater for bathing and the network. What is it that you give? If you cannot come into the country and out of the country as you wish, it's not easy. And I'm going to say it's not because of the Hamas. Even before, long before Hamas existed. You cannot come easily in and out into the country. It's like really complete. You are in a jail, a big jail.
Well, certainly, and I think we've seen a lot of that come out now, even with the latest ICJ hearings that we've seen many countries, and this is not only about October 7th. This is going on for 75 years, and I'm sure you've experienced this firsthand as well. And now I know that you were in the north of Gaza, and I just want you to just take us through what was it like with the people of Palestine? What sort of interaction you had? What are the people of Gaza like?
My interaction was beautiful. Alhamdulillah. The Palestinians, they accepted me. They didn't make me feel alienated. They didn't make me feel because I'm not white, I'm revert, I'm special. No, they treated me like a Palestinian. And all of them said to me, I am Palestinian. Now I'm Palestinian. Khalas. And they are, they will take care of each and every one, especially if you're a guest coming to Palestine. They take special care of you. His family was all the time around me. He has a big family. All the time they were around me to make sure that I'm fed, I'm well taken care of. I'm happy, and then I'll tell them I'm not special. I'm a normal person. Since I reverted to Islam, I like normal things. But they are still going out of their way, want to make you feel at home. And even after the war, it didn't change. They are still, even though they are losing and they are going facing, um, how can I say,
Have difficulties.
difficulties, yes, trauma, they are still, they smile at each and every one, and they try to make everyone happy, try to think in a positive way, forget about the danger, forget about, you don't know when is your time when are the bombs is going to strike you. So they are trying their best to make it still in a positive, loving feeling there in Gaza.
Yes. Do you know how many members of his family are still alive, or does he know?
From Skek is a very big family in Palestine and very important as well. So what he mentioned to me the other day was 22 members, men in his family have passed away, and 30 children is orphans in his family. But from his brothers and sisters, Alhamdulillah, four of his sisters escaped. Four of his sisters is out of the country, Alhamdulillah, and three of his sisters with their families is still in Gaza, and then his brother is also still in Gaza, but they are still fine. They are still safe. Alhamdulillah.
Yes, but also the fact that 22 members of the family, and I suppose it also becomes personal for you. It's
Yes.
not about your husband losing the family, but it becomes personal for you because these are people that you must have met.
Yes.
You know the people, and when you hear, obviously, it becomes very, very personal.
It is. What's amazing is the day before the war, on the 6th of October, his one nephew had a very big wedding. I was invited to that wedding, and there I met the whole family, each and every skek I met at that wedding. And that's like, it is the last day I've met the whole family and not see the family again. And, the 6th of October for me, it's also a big sadness to me.
Yes, in fact, I suppose this wedding was an excuse for a family reunion,
Yeah.
for an entire family to get together, not knowing what was going to happen next. And you being in the north of Gaza at that point in time, and this is where it started. So, and from there, obviously, you were there right till December, early December for 2 months. What was that experience like when it actually started?
Well, I'm going to start by saying this. My father was in the military. My father, the stories he told me was always stuck in my head. On the 7th of October, when the missiles start going off, just right after Fajr, we finished praying our Fajr, and we decided we're going to be a little bit 1 hour more in the bed. And we were just getting inside the bed, the missiles started going off. We thought at that moment it's Israel. We didn't knew it comes from Palestine side. And it just keep on going on. I remember by the 10th missile, my husband grabbed me and he says to me, "You must get yourself ready. Big things is happening, big wars coming." All of us thought at that point it's Israel that is targeting Palestine. And I was, and it just that it didn't stop. It just going on, and everyone. He had a four buildings, storage store building. Everyone was. You can hear the kids screaming. Everyone screaming. Everyone is scared. He ran out to go and see if the kids is okay. I get up. I fall down in sujood, and I grab my ears and I ask Allah to make it stop. It was horrific, and you don't know where it's falling. You don't know where it is, and it kept on going 1 hour, 2 hours. It just keep on going, going, going. And by 8 o'clock, when they switch on the news, they got the news that it is Hamas, it is the freedom fighters that is shooting the missiles towards Israel. And when that moment, when it came alive, when it came, people get to know about it, you can hear everyone screaming, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And I'm terrified. I'm crying. I'm scared. I don't know what to expect now. My husband come running into the room. He says it's the first time in 1,000 years that Palestinians got it right to get over the border. They before didn't happen because they are secured. The security, it is so thick there. You cannot make any movement without them knowing. I was thinking to myself, how can it be possible? Stories that my husband told me. How can it be possible that Israel didn't knew they are coming? And I'm not scared to say it. I said Israel knew they were coming. Israel wanted this because Israel had this plan to take this further. This whole thing is happening right now in Rafah. Israel planned it from the beginning. When I entered Gaza, I could hear the whole time. Zzz. I asked my husband, "This is very irritating." He said, "You will get used to it. This is drones." Israel is 24 hours looking out on the whole
Surveillance.
Palestine,
Yes.
yeah, to see any movement, anything like this or that. 2 weeks before the war, the resistance, they were busy preparing for war. We could hear them, but not knew what is going to happen. We thought, because you, Israel strikes at any time. They want to be prepared. They want to be ready. So they were in the sea. They were preparing in the sea. They were having bombs going off in the sea. Other thing is also when my husband took me to the sea to show me the ocean, he told me these fishermen go into the sea, don't know if they will be able to come back. I was shocked. I said, why? He says they have only 600 meters to go to enter into the sea to fish. If they go beyond 600 meters, they will be shot at. They will kill them. I was so shocked. I said, but how will they be able to know they go above 600 meters? There's no warning. So, I mean, there is on the ocean, there is the Israel boats, everything. They are keeping an eye on what's happening. So they were doing prepared for this war the 2 weeks before it started. And to tell me they didn't to tell me they've been caught off guard? No, 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 no. They knew everything. They wanted this to happen.
Yes. Now, when Israel obviously retaliated, what was the experience like?
Oh, about 10, 11 o'clock Saturday morning, the 7th of October, it came out on the news. Netanyahu said he is now going to take Palestine to war. He's going to finish Palestine. He's not going to be like before. He's going to finish Palestine. He's taking them to war. That was his words. And then from experience, from war experience, from my father, what he told me, I knew this is now dangerous. Things is going to come to. I didn't expect this to go as far as like this, but I knew something is going to happen. I immediately ran to my room. I tried to call the embassy. Then the first strike, when they strike was the Palestinian banks, the first in the north. The second strike was the network. They struck the network. There was no network. But there was electricity to run the Wi-Fi. So they were trying to get the generator run to get the Wi-Fi on. Then I get to send emails out to all the South African embassies in Ramallah, Egypt, South Africa. I was sending everywhere South African emails because in Gaza there is no embassy. Then I knew, okay, Saturday, probably, inshallah, Monday, I will get to hear from them. But I felt I must let South Africa embassy know that what's happening. And my husband come to me, says to me, don't stress, don't take stress. This thing, they are just wanting to make us scared. This is going to go on for like 2 weeks, maybe. Just, you must be strong. I looked at him, I said to him, I don't think so. And at that time, at 10, 11, missiles were still going off. They were still shooting missiles that side. And now they are busy bombing Palestine. I said to him, I don't think this is going to be a 2 week thing. Because now, I mean, look at us. Islam teach us that the Jews is aggressive, right? We know they are aggressive people. Now, Palestine have stepped into their territory. Palestine have start now a war. Palestine have targeted them. Before, always, they are the ones that target Palestine. So obviously, they are now not going to leave it just there for 2 weeks. They're going to take revenge. This is now for them a reason to take revenge. My husband said, "No, I'm overreacting, overthinking." He always said to me, "I'm always overthinking everything." So then when they started bombing Palestine, I never imagined a bomb can be so hard. The sound, the feeling. You know, they're bombing like a building 100 meters away from you. It feels like they're bombing right next to you. The whole time, my husband will tell me duck and dive because the metal can go anywhere. For me, I was so scared. I was scared.
Yes, in fact, what you're saying is so true in terms of the sound of the bombs, because I recall earlier on in when the aggression had started, and we were still able to get in contact with people in Gaza, and one of the people I spoke to, and she actually mentioned, she says, you got so used to the sounds, the different sounds of the bombs. You know what is a drone, you know what is a
Yes.
bomb that's coming from an aircraft, you know what is coming from the sea. All those sounds you become so used to, and you know exactly, what is actually happening. But again, how long were you in the north of Gaza before you had to actually flee? And what was that experience like, fleeing from one place to the other?
No, that was horrific. Um, on Sunday, the 8th of October, I was asking my husband, let us go somewhere. Where can we go? He said, we cannot go to any UN building or any, because they will have to get us registered. The embassy needs to register us so that we can go to a UN building for safety. So we will have to stay there in the house until we can get news from the embassy where can we go, or the UN will call us to tell us where can we go. That I was staying 3 days inside the house, and I can remember that whole 3 days felt it like 1 year, especially the nights. It was, we would run and sitting on the staircase for protection. They will they will hit every building, and then you will just see the red flames, and then everything will just shake, and then you will think, and I don't know how it feels to be hit by a bomb. Then when they will strike you, I would think, did they hit us now? Then I will look at the roof and waiting to see if the roof is going to fall on top of us. That was, and I didn't sleep for days. I wasn't sleeping. My husband, he would take some sleep, but I couldn't sleep at all. Then they came to news that there was people next to us. They target the two houses. They take out the one house, they take out the other house. They take out half of the building of our house. When that happened, I said to my husband, that was on Sunday. I said to my husband, please, I beg you, where can we go? If there's going to strike more again, we are done. We are completely done. I mean, when is this building going to fall? Give in. But he just kept on saying, we cannot go anywhere. We don't know where to go. Where can we go? And then the final strike was when they struck the house behind us. And then it took out so much of the wall that the wall struck me. The concrete wall struck me. I literally broke my ankle. I think I broke my ankle. There's no medical to see if I was broken it or not. They say I fractured it, but in my back, because one of the concretes was hit my back, and then I had injured in my stomach as well. So he took me to Shifa Hospital. That time Shifa Hospital was still up and running, but Shifa Hospital was crazy. It looked like millions of people inside Shifa Hospital. Burned people. You smell the skins, the burning. And but we couldn't stay there. They treated me, and then the Monday told us we must go. Monday, we got contact from the embassy. Embassy say to us, Ramallah contact us and say to us, stay put, people's going to come. Where must we stay put? The building is halfway bombed. And then he took me back to the house. 3 o'clock Monday morning, they strike again. They strike the mosque very close to us. 100, I feel it's 50 meters. He says it's 100 meters. That strike took out everything in the house, the windows, everything. I was sitting on my bed looking out to the window. I told my husband to take out the glass because I don't want this glass to be shattered and injure me. When he took out the glass, on that day, I was sitting and I was looking out by the window, and then it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I see this light, bright lights coming down. I'm like, what is this? I didn't see this before. And I tried to wake up my husband to ask him, what is this? Next moment, it just this blasting sound. It goes, I can still feel it. It took me off from the bed. And that, I get up, I started packing. I said, now I don't care where I'm going from here. I don't care where are we going. I want to move from here. My husband, he gets everyone to see everyone is okay in the house. He gets everyone downstairs. By 6 o'clock, I'm calling. I see the email. I received the email from Ramallah. I'm calling Ramallah. Eventually, Tamilo, he answered the call. I said to Tamilo, I cannot stay here. The half of the building is gone. I got injured. Where can I go? What can I do? Now this is the last. And I don't want to stay here in the building. It's going to fall on top of us. Half of the building is completely damaged. He said to me, okay, he got news that we must go to the south on Monday, on the 9th. We must go to the south. I said, okay. Then I told my husband, we must go to the south. At first, his brother decided they're going to stay in the north. They're going to go to a school in the north. I was fighting with them. I said to them, if the embassy says we must go to the south, they know something. By that time, electricity is now off. Electricity is completely cut. They give warnings now. They are going to cut the water system, the 500-liter water that we could have used for drinking. They're going to cut that also. They are bombing the water supply, water manufacturers.
Yes.
They're bombing everything. They're bombing the universities. They're bombing left to right. And I said to my brother-in-law, I said to him, come with us to the south. It's not safe. No, he says it. Still at that time, they thought it's going to be end soon. Everyone thought, my husband from 2 weeks, he says now 1 month. It's going to end soon. I said to him, now they are bombing out the universities. Where's the children going to study? When we finally decided that we are going to go to Khan Yunis, Tamilo told us where we must go into the UN in Khan Yunis. When we arrived there was already about 500-600 people.
Did you have to travel by car? You went by car?
Yeah, we traveled by car. From Khan Yunis, we traveled by from Rafah to Khan Yunis, we traveled by car. But from Khan Yunis to Rafah, no, from the north to Khan Yunis, we traveled by car. From Khan Yunis to Rafah, we traveled by foot.
Okay, we'll go through that experience. Okay, let's talk about Khan Yunis. When you arrived in Khan Yunis, what did you see?
Khan Yunis was not targeted yet. It's only the north was targeted. Khan Yunis was considered to be safe.
Right.
Everything was still standing. We went into the UNRWA college base in Khan Yunis, and they found our names, and then they said, okay, we're going to have to set out a camp there. Then we found this. Tumelo called me again. He said to me, there is MSF, Doctors Without Borders.
Yes.
I must stay with them because there's a South African that is with them.
Right.
So that I don't be the only South African, he wants us to stay together. Then within 3 days, we stayed 3 days in Khan Yunis. Within 3 days, from 500 people, it became to more than 2,000 people entering into the Khan Yunis, into UNRWA that base.
Yes.
And before we knew it, the MSF started packing up. I go to them asking them, where are you guys going? No, we are going to another facility in Rafah. So I was.
They knew what was coming.
They knew what was coming. So I was shocked. And then I asked him, because I said to him, embassy said I must stay with you guys because of the guy that's with you. It's South African. So there's like, no, I'm not from any organization. I'm not working on with these people, so I cannot go with them. So they left. Then I started saying to my husband, how can we get news that the border is opened? Because the border was open for 2 days. On the 9th, they closed the border. The 10th, they closed the border. Now there's no network. Everything is off. Now how are we gonna get hold of to know border is open? I was having this safety that if the MSF knows when the border will be open, then they can inform us, and then we can go to the border to be evacuated. Yeah, and then when it was 2 days past, then Tumelo called me. He get on hold of me, called me. He said to me, I must go to the border. The border is opening. We must go that side to Rafah border. I said, okay. I told my husband, we just quickly get car, and then we went to Rafah border. Good. We were sitting 6 hours at the Rafah border. Then they didn't open up the gates.
Right.
Then they said everyone must go back. So we go back to Khan Yunis. We went back to the UNRWA base. When we arrived on the UNRWA base, I said to him, look at this place. There's 2 bathrooms. Over 2,000 people. Soon this drainage is going to be overloaded.
Yes.
Yeah. The water is getting less and less and less. You don't know for how long you're going to have water to wash. I said to my husband, this place is too much crowded. We must try to find a way to get to Rafah. Then when we asked the taxis were scared. Taxis was saying they were asking too much also, like $100 to take us to Rafah. I said to my husband, "Khalas, we walk. Let us take our feet and we walk." So we walked. On the way to Rafah.
What was the distance you walked?
I will say it felt like 200 kilometers, but it was 35 kilometers. Yeah. And then the heat, the sun, it's just killing. But when we came to Rafah, we didn't know where to go from there. We were like, okay, now we must figure out. Because Khan Yunis is getting overcrowded now.
Right.
And something is telling me Israel wants to put everyone in the south, in Khan Yunis, for a reason.
Yes.
And that time in Rafah, not many was in Rafah. Only the people lived in Rafah was there. I said to my husband, I feel we must stay here in Rafah. Be here, find a place where can we stay. So at first, we went to the UN UNRWA base, UNRWA base camp.
Yes.
Enter there, go to the office, tell the office I'm foreigner, I'm South African. And he says, oh, we have South African here. Right at the back is the MSF South African.
Yes.
Go to them. You must be with them. You and your husband, go to them. When they took us to the backside, they opened the door. Then everyone was shocked.
Same people that were with you in Khan Yunis.
Yeah, we were shocked. They were shocked.
Right.
All of us were shocked.
Okay.
And then they said, how did you find us? We said, no, we were looking for a place. And then we found this place, the base. And then they said, oh, they have South African there at the back. We must go there.
Right.
By Allah's will.
No, definitely.
And then they said we can stay with them. Alhamdulillah. We stayed with the MSF for 2 weeks. We slept outside. Not just us. All of us slept outside. Our roof was a tree.
Right.
My husband gave his musala for me to sleep on top of his musala. His jalabia was a blanket for me. Yeah, so it's not just me, it's all of us. All of the doctors, everyone was sleeping like that.
Right.
Same way. So we slept for 2 weeks there at the base. Then the Palestinians was getting aggressive. That's in the front, refugees. Because mistake what these people done was they had their food stacked out. It was lots of food stacked out. My husband didn't allow me to intervene with other Palestinian peoples. He was scared because they are scared now. Maybe they think my life will be put in danger. So he kept me away from everyone. So I just hear from my husband, hear from this. I can hear the men when he's crying in the night. What plan can he make for his wife for food, for his children for food? The roof they're sleeping is plastic. So he didn't allow me to see what is the situation outside. Then the security, UN security, was taking them to the Palestinian woman to the bathroom, what we are using. Then they see the food. Now they see, oh, these foreigners, look what they are living. They have access to food, they have access to bathroom, they have access to water, they have access to Wi-Fi. They are the Palestinians, is refugees, have nothing.
Right.
So then one word spreading to the others, and then we start becoming want to fight. And then the doctors got scared, and the next morning when we wake up, all of them was gone.
Sure. So it was just you again.
Yeah.
Right.
All of them was gone. And then we were shocked, and then I'm like, why are people like that?
Exactly.
They must understand. You know, that's what makes me also angry is when they see the trucks are being looted, right? They say Palestinians as animals. They have no adapt, they have no moral values. Look what they are doing. Put yourself in that situation.
Exactly.
Don't eat for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Don't drink water. I didn't drink. There was time I didn't have water for 3 days. 3 days. No water. You can't bath. You feel dirty the whole time. And you are stressed. You are a man. You have a wife. You have children.
Yes.
They're looking up to you for
Exactly.
safety. They're looking up to you for food. They're looking up to you for a bed to sleep on.
Right.
Now these men have their family looking up to them in their eyes. So now food is not coming in. The trucks is coming in, but it's not getting to everyone.
Right.
What are they going to do?
Exactly.
Survival guide is going to kick in.
Exactly. That's what it is.
And then the media takes it out saying, these are animals. They don't have morals. Look, they're looting trucks. They're doing this. It's wrong.
Yeah.
Put yourself in that situation.
Yeah. Sister Fatima, throughout this ordeal, you must have seen some horrific scenes.
Yeah, no, I did.
And I'm sure these are images that stick with you and will stick with you forever in terms of what you've just seen, the devastation, the destruction, those that have been killed, brutalized, maimed as a result of bombs, children, men, women. And I'm sure these are horrific images for you.
It is. It is. I don't want to speak about it because...
No, I wouldn't want you to, but I'm just saying. Yeah, I know. It's something that you don't want to...
Once I saw a child take out of the rubble, her head was crushed like this.
Like a pancake.
Like a pancake. It was flat. A child. When we were in Rafah, when we moved for the 4th time out of the UN base to another place, we were in the street walking, and then refugees came from the north, came with their bags. The woman and child was walking in the street. As she was walking, she had a bag fallen. She was just about to enter Rafah. We looked at these people coming in now into Rafah. She had a bag fallen, and she goes bent over to pick up her bag. When she picked up her bag, a sniper shot her in the leg. The bullets went straight through her leg into her daughter's head. Daughter about 3 years old. Dead. You cannot run to go and pick them up, help them. I wanted to run. My husband called me. He says, you cannot run. Anyone that will run to help them
Get shot.
This is the things you have to see. When you are in that spur of the moment, you don't really actually realize. When you sit down, when everything is now calm around you, then you started to realize what did you saw right now, what happened around you. One time I was with my mother on the call, and I was talking to her, and the next moment, right behind us, bombs was falling. It was so loud. It felt it like it is inside where we are.
Yeah.
And I didn't know where to run, and I screamed to my mother, "Help me, mommy, help me, mommy!" And she's like, she felt it like she can grab me out of that phone inside to.
In fact, I actually felt exactly the same because on one of the interviews that I did with somebody out of Gaza, and at the same time the bombing had started, and I'm right on the other end, thousands of kilometers away, here in South Africa in the studio, and you feel it. One actually feels it, and so I can identify what your mom has been going through. But also at the same time, I want to talk a bit about the resilience of the people of Palestine in terms of how they support each other, and especially in a dire situation like this, because we've heard of some amazing stories. People going out of their way, whether digging with their bare hands through the rubble, supporting people, taking
That's
somebody's other's
amazing.
baby, orphans on their back, running with them. We've seen people with horse and carts. All of that now, all these images we've seen flash across our screens and on social media as well. And I'm sure there's a lot that you can actually talk about how these people have actually come together to assist and support each other.
They are the ones the houses still stands, right? They tell each and everyone, "Come to my house, come stay with us," but they are too scared. They feel more safer in the open than staying in the house, because the house can be bombed, the house can be targeted. They don't know you. I'm going to be honest with you. You don't know who is Hamas, who's not Hamas. All right, the people is not against Hamas. For me, I also say Hamas is our freedom fighters. They are the ones that stood up. You must sometimes lose something to gain something, understand? And this is the freedom for Palestine. How many years are they trying to fight for freedom? So the people are scared. They don't know if this is the owner of Hamas, if a relative of Hamas. So they're scared to go and stay there. So then what will happen is, if they can, they will try to provide for them something near the house, which I saw myself, like a tent sort of thing, stay asleep near the house, and then they will provide for them, bring for them food. Everyone tries to help each other. If you hear now a building has been struck, everyone runs out. The men runs out, and they go and they try to get the rubble out, see who can they save. Everyone works together. Everyone works together.
Oh, then okay, let's just move on. And obviously, time is of the essence. I'm sure we can have a 2-hour interview if we go through each and every detail. But your appeal had come up, and I've read about your appeal. And I think it started sometime in November, if I'm not mistaken, where you were already appealing to go out, to be let out of Gaza, and you wanted to actually come home, which eventually happened in December. And what was that experience like for you?
It's supposed to be my happiest day of my life, but it's my worst day in my life. Worst. I expected my husband should have come with me. He was on the list. From Dumelo, and everyone was assuring me all the time, he's on the list, he's on the list, he's going to come out with me. On the morning when we wake up, my husband found the list, and he said, "No, just my name is on the list." I waited. I didn't want to pack anything. We called Tumelo. Tumelo said Israel took him out of the list. Don't know yet why. I didn't
So
want it
they
to.
approved the list.
Yeah, Israel's the ones.
They approved that
Yes,
list. Okay.
they approve each and every list. They
Right.
approve each and every person who wants to go out.
Right.
So my husband, I didn't want it to leave. I didn't want it to pack. My husband said, "You must." Tumelo said we will come into the second list. Tumelo said probably 2 weeks. My husband said 1 or 2 weeks. We will wait. I will come. I will follow you. I didn't want it to leave. I holded him so closely. I didn't want. He pushed me. Still today, every time I talk to my husband, I say, "You pushed me over the border." And yeah, when I had to leave, when I found myself inside the hotel room, Nothing made sense to me. I'm in safety. I have water, I have electricity. What is this worth? My husband is not with me. What this is now for me worth nothing. I met this wonderful person in my life. He taught me more about Islam. He's the one that is making me a more stronger Muslim. He teach me about life. He teach me about struggle. He teach me that not don't worry about this dunya things. It's a lot that you have to be worried about. It's a lot that you have to love. Inside the war, with all the everything going around us, I didn't feel really that much scared if I'm next to him, if I'm in his arms. But now it's everything. It's to be here. It doesn't mean anything to me without my husband. I finally found someone love me, accept me, understand me, and is away from me. For 3 months, I'm trying to get him out. I'm trying everything possible to get my husband out. That I come to a point there is bribery going on in Egypt. That I'm trying to a point to raise $6,000 to buy my husband out. And if I'm not going to be able to do that, then I want to go back to him.
I can understand, and I can understand the emotion as well. And just on Wednesday night, when I had spoken to this doctor, Dr. Fozia Alvi, and I think what you experience and what you've seen, and when you see how special those people are, and she actually mentioned to me that by being in Gaza, it actually strengthened her as a Muslim. It strengthened her own iman. And she says what she experienced there was she saw the light, she saw the nur on the faces of people of Gaza. She says she could smell the musk emanating, the smell of musk from the martyrs. And she spoke about, some of the horrific scenes where she says a mother helplessly watching her child die of starvation. But she says throughout all of that, being someone who's just been there for 8 days, they made sure that, you know what, they used to bring her, even if it was a bowl of lentil soup, they made sure that she had eaten and they would go hungry. Now, that was the experience. Now, I can understand the emotion because, you'd like to be with your husband. And I believe that your husband is doing wonderful work as well.
He is.
And maybe you can just touch a bit on why he is there and what he is doing right now.
From the day I left, he got involved with a occasion where they giving out food parcels to the people. So he started to get involved in doing that, giving out food parcels, playing with the kids. Then he got himself involved in the Rafah border. He because he's English spoken, the people can understand him quite well. So they used him to do the coordinations for the humanitarian aid trucks in the Rafah border. And from there, he got involved with UN. And 2 months, almost 3 months later, he's now registered in the UN. He opened up a soup kitchen. He's running a soup kitchen feeding 10,000 plus people. He built now recently a bakery to bake bread for the people in Rafah. And my biggest concern the whole time was the north, people in the north. We have brothers and sisters in the north. There's no humanitarian aid going out to them. When there's a truck being sent out to them, the truck is being bombed. The water tank was also being bombed. So I was keep on asking my husband, what is the plans for North? What is the plans for North? And I kept on making dua. And alhamdulillah, Allah accepted the dua.
Amen.
He said to me on Wednesday, he told me they sent it 10 humanitarian aid trucks reached the north of Gaza. The people is now getting food.
Yes. Yeah.
Even though there is now again massacre taking place in the north, there was yesterday 114 that people been shot at.
Yeah.
But my husband, he told me last night, he says his phone is like constantly ringing. People is calling him, they need tent, they need food, they need. and he doesn't know where to live, where to sit.
Well, hopefully at some point in time we'll get an opportunity to talk to Ashraf as well. Because when you
Inshallah.
talk to him, because I think it's Islam Media, we'll be actually quite keen to understand what he's doing there, what are the challenges as well. So perhaps, we would require your assistance to try and help facilitate an interview with him. And but I know,
Definitely.
I know you are missing him. And naturally, so we are all human. He's your spouse, you are his wife as well, and I could hear the emotion as well. But just looking at your side now, you mentioned that it's still a battle, it's still a struggle to get him back to South Africa.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
Oh,
They said that it's like their hands are cut off now. Um, Israel is not accepting South Africa list just yet. Hopefully it will accept, but it's waiting, waiting, waiting. And then as time is passing, I'm stressing because they want to send the IDF soldiers into Rafah now. When they are sending that in,
yes,
that is, for me, that's horror.
exactly,
Horror.
exactly.
For now, I would say 60% my husband is, no, 40% my husband is safe for now. Every morning I wake up, I cannot wait to receive a message from him. When I receive a message, I know, okay, alhamdulillah, my husband is safe. And then during the day, I'm stressed out, hoping he's safe. So, yeah, where once Israel can accept the South African list, it can be evacuated.
Yes, yes, yes.
But now nothing is happening.
And just personally, how are you holding up here?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I must say, on a personal mentality level, it's so wonderful to be with Mama Bibi, Mama Suraya. She adopted me, and she's my mother. She's nothing ahead. It's so wonderful to be with her and her family, to be inside the Muslim community as well, where I can freely be Muslim. Because I was in Middleburg and it wasn't like this.
Yeah.
And I get this moral support from Mama Soraya and her family to support me. And she's teaching me a lot also about woman empowerment, how strong we women is. Yeah.
Yes, and I see, you've had a few speaking engagements as well. Sawid, South African Women in Dialogue, obviously you've been on it where you've been sharing your experiences as well. And I suppose a lot of that actually helps, that, you are involved with certain organizations who actually want to listen to you, who want to know, understand. But also more importantly, I think, women appreciate what other women go through as well. Although it's not that we don't. I mean, we feel exactly. But I think women have got a special relationship with each other. And it's just wonderful that you are able to do all of this and share what you have what you have been sharing with us here on Salam Media.
Yeah. I said this from the first day. I said it the day when I came out of Gaza. I want to be a voice for Palestine. I'm their voices. I'm the mother's voices losing their kids. And the mother's voices is losing their husbands. I want to speak out and I want to bring awareness. This is more than just a war. What these people is doing is more than just a war. And and try to see if maybe somewhere my speech, someone can pick up something and they can realize, we can do something like that. We can do this, we can do that, we can help there, we can help there. I just want to help my brothers and sisters in Palestine.
Well, I think we're honored as well, my sister, that you're able to raise that voice here at Salam Media with us, to share that voice as well. And inshallah, obviously, going forward, inshallah, we're looking forward to a lot more engagements as well. But I know it's taken a lot for you to come out to talk to us as well, and we do appreciate it. I'm sure our listeners, our viewers on Salam Media appreciate you telling your side of the story. And it's a very, very powerful story. It's a very profound story. And it sends a very, very powerful message as well. Just your experience in itself. And for that, we're appreciative. And our du'as are with you. Allah accept your efforts. I know it's been a struggle. There's a lot of sacrifices you've had to make, and you're still making those sacrifices in the absence of your husband. But Allah Ta'ala accept. And this doesn't go unnoticed. And I'm sure there are better things, there are greater things for you to come in life, inshallah.
Inshallah. Ya Rabbi, Allahumma ameen. Jazakallah khairan.
And Jazakallah for taking time out. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, Sister Fatima to Zahra, obviously known as Angela Shaik before, but Alhamdulillah, we had this opportunity of having this discussion. I must say it's been a fascinating discussion for us here at Salam Media, but also puts this entire uh, debacle, this war, this genocide, call it what you may, it actually puts it into perspective because this is a first-hand account. This is a live experience that a person has gone through, not only from October the 7th, but from prior to that, 6 months prior to that, what was Gaza like? And we always speak about Gaza, an open-air prison, the largest open-air prison, but it's a concentration camp. And just listening to my sister's story over here, from a concentration camp to an extermination camp, because this is exactly what Gaza has been all about. And inshallah, at Salam Media, we will continue. We will continue with our coverage on Gaza. We'll bring you a lot more, much more, as in time takes us. And that includes this month of Ramadan. And let us continue making dua. Today is the day of Jummah, the blessed day of Jummah. Duas are accepted. Special times for Jummah, for duas are accepted as well. So let us make dua for our brothers and sisters in Palestine, in Gaza as well. And as we head towards the month of Ramadan, where many of us will be opening up our hearts, we will be digging deep into our pockets as well. And let us set aside, in fact, just last night at the mosque Isha time, a brother approached me and says, this time round, my zakat is going to Palestine. Can you recommend? And this is exactly what people are thinking. So, inshallah, Allah grant us the ability to do whatever we can, whether we raise our voices, whether we've got to support financially, morally, in any way whatsoever. Let us continue and let us not forget Palestine will never ever be forgotten in our hearts. And also at the same time, when Hamas started this, and they are freedom fighters, they called it the Al-Aqsa flood. And let us not forget Masjid al-Aqsa, the third haram. There are challenges coming there, especially with the month of Ramadan. We spoke about it earlier. But yes, let us think and let us make dua for Masjid al-Aqsa as well. People in the West Bank, people in Jerusalem, in Al-Quds. These are people special. And they have been chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to represent me, you, and 2 billion Muslims right across the entire world. And with that, I'm signing off. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.